Hey, what's up, Silver Stackers? Thank you for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. Folks, I put together a very good and important video for you guys and gals today. Folks, I really hope you participate in this conversation. It just makes the video that much better. You know, the whole point of my videos are to bring a topic to the table, share my 2 cents, maybe add a little bit of context that the article didn't mention or something else I want to branch off into, but also you guys play an important role to throw out what you think, your 2 cents. And you have my one mind, but then if there's hundreds, if not thousands of comments, it just makes the conversation that much more powerful and informational. You know, there's a lot of stuff I may miss. I'm sure a lot of you know a lot more than I do. And I'm sure there's a lot of new people. And by the way, if you are going to comment, please be respectful. We're all on the same team. You know, if someone just comes in spreading negativity or bashing people, it just makes you look silly and immature. We're all adults, right? We're all adults. Not everyone's going to have the same opinion. Not everyone has to be, you know, on the same level as you. There is no wrong way to stack. What works for me might not work for you and vice versa. And remember when you're talking to other people as well. And since we're on the topic of the comment section, there are a lot of Silver Slayer impersonators. I'm sure one of you have gotten a comment that says, and it looks like it's from me saying, hey, text this WhatsApp number, I want to talk to you or something. That's not me. That's an impersonator. It's a scammer. They're going to try to scam you. My name is always highlighted gray in my comment section. And that goes for every YouTube channel. Every channel that a YouTuber has in their own comment section, their name is highlighted, sticks out. The Silver Slayer impersonator, obviously, they have the same name as me and the same profile picture, but their name will not be highlighted. And if you want to go an extra step further to make sure it's not me, click on the profile. They'll have 0 videos and 0 subscribers. My channel obviously has over 60,000 and I have over 2,000 videos. So just please be safe. I know I hired a moderator to literally sit in the comment section of my videos all day long, deleting and blocking these impersonators slash scammers, so the people in my comment section are safe. We've been doing this for years. I literally had to hire someone, multiple people, to try to fix this problem. They just keep popping back up though, so please be safe. That's all we can do at this point. Now, anyways, the link to this article will be in the description. I really hope you enjoyed this conversation. We are talking about how speculators rotate from gold to industrial metals. Now, that's the question I want you all to answer in the comment section below. Do you invest into just silver or other metals, gold, or what about copper, palladium, platinum? You know, when we're talking about silver's industrial benefit beyond gold, there are other metals that have very, very strong industrial uses, like copper, right? Look at the catalytic converters from palladium. Remember what happened to that a couple of years ago? I mean, looking forwards, especially since copper is a very close second in terms of electrical conductivity to silver, I'm sure copper will be replacing silver in some instances, and they're even trying to do so with solar panels. So maybe copper could be another investment to look out for, especially since it is cheap. So do you all diversify? That's the question. And I like this because they're saying not usually people would diversify into gold, but they're saying no, they're moving from gold to copper and other industrial metals like silver. And we also have another article kind of talking about the same thing, and it's a mining forecast, but mentioning how the worst could be yet to come, and for the same instances with, you know, copper, iron ore, aluminum, all these different commodities that could be playing different roles in what's going to happen. So you can see why this video is going to be so important, and like I said, I really hope you participate. Let's jump into this. Our weekly commitment of traders update highlights future positions and changes made by hedge funds and other speculators across commodities and forex during the week to Tuesday, September 13th. A week that ended with the US CPI surprise, which helped trigger renewed stock market weakness and bond yield strength, while the commodity sector in general traded higher, led by industrial-linked metals and the grains sector. Now, I know a lot of you do diversify into gold, even like myself. I know gold is a great investment. You could fit $100,000 worth of gold in a shoebox. You can't do that with silver. But if we're talking about other commodities beyond gold. See, since gold is mainly a monetary metal, it's used for jewelry and coins. But if we're talking about the benefits that silver has as in a monetary and industrial metal, and I talk about, especially with the shortage involved, why silver's so beneficial. If there's other metals in the same boat in terms of scarcity, that could also be another metal to really look at, whether it is palladium or platinum or copper or whatever, whatever the case is. So maybe we could start branching off. Now, me, I don't like mix my eggs too much. I try to keep it simple. My name is Silver Slayer for a reason, but there are some other metals out there that could have potential. So let's jump into this. So, commodities. The Bloomberg Commodity Index traded up 2.2% during the reporting week to last Tuesday, September 13th, with gains seen across all sectors with the exception of softs. The metal sector was particularly strong, especially those with an industrial link such as silver, platinum, and copper. The energy sector was mixed while a U.S. government report supported strong gains across the grains sector led by soybeans. Responding to these predominantly positive price performances, speculators increased bullish bets in 15 out of the 24 major commodity futures tracked by the 70K lots to over 1 million. The bulk of the change being driven by short covering as opposed to the fresh longs, reflecting a market that remains concerned about the global economic outlook and its impact on demand for key components. Now, here is an entire chart. Look at all this. It goes from gas to gold, silver, platinum, palladium, copper, soybeans, sugar, coffee, cotton, live cattle. I mean, it goes through everything, and you can see it shows that silver has a change of negative 70%. You could see, looks like platinum's negative 46%, but then you see something like soybeans, it's up 13%. Sugar, it looks like it's up 75%. And you could see right now, gold's actually, it doesn't even show percentage change for gold, which is interesting. But I'm curious more. See, I know a lot of people actually are looking at the end of the year with the energy crisis, and like that one letter the guy wrote to me, or that email that I made a video about, where he was mentioning that he has a friend in the LME, London Metals Exchange, and was mentioning all this stuff, and with commodities, and if the energy crisis really going in the end of the year, since the ground's going to be harder, it's going to be causing this horrible situation, which would actually be extremely bullish for precious metals, but industrial ones, and that's what I talk about with gold. When silver's going to take off and expand on a life of its own, gold's not going to be doing anything with the new digital era we're advancing in, because gold isn't really used in technology. Gold is used for coins and bars, kind of sits around. Silver, copper, all these other things, no, they're used industrially. Now, let's look at this. Crude oil's current range-bound behavior was reflected in the limited changes seen in the overall net long. A week of small gains helped lift the net long and Brent crude by 13.4 lots to 341,000 lots. Metals. The sector saw an unusual strong amount of switching from gold to metals with an industrial link. And that's what I was just talking about. It seems like people are looking more to the industrial side of things. The gold position flipped back to a net short of 11.3 lots, or 3,000 lots, just a few hundred lots above the 40-month low. Additional selling likely to have been triggered by the technical break below $1,680 that followed a couple of days later. The near 9% rally in silver from a 2-year low helped trigger a 70% reduction in the net short to 17,000, while platinum net short was cut in half to 9.3 thousand lots. So, and then let's go into copper. And then they go into copper, mentioning that speculators turned the least negative on copper in 3 months after cutting their short by 61% to 4.4 thousand lots. So yeah, then we go into agriculture and forex and stuff. But let's go into this other article as well. Why has Fitch Ratings slashed its metals and mining ratings. Fitch has revised its current metals and mining ratings largely due to the expectations of a global economic slowdown and lower metal demand in the near future. This is mainly driven by China, which is still recovering from the current waves of the uh, pandemic, and as well as intermittent lockdowns creating havoc in manufacturing and industries. This has mostly affected metals such as copper and iron ore, which are likely to see minor surplus in the next year due to falling demand, as well as limits on steel manufacturing. This is also fueled by China's construction sector not recovering as fast as expected. Now that's going to be interesting because they're saying the demand for copper and iron ore are going to be seeing a downwards spiral in demand, at least, and I could see silver doing the exact opposite, especially since solar panels were up 15% this year, and I could only imagine it's going to be up another 15% next year. I can't imagine what the EV sector is going to look like in 5 years, especially 5G towers and all that. I mean, silver demand is going to be through the roof. But yeah, for some of these metals that are industrially, maybe not the case. So if you are going to start branching off into industrial metals, they have to make sense. You don't just aimlessly throw your money at platinum or palladium or copper or zinc or something without understanding why. There's a reason why we invest in the silver. I didn't just randomly pick silver out of a hat. And that's one of the things people have to be careful on is if you're investing into something, it has to make sense. Even before I buy that ounce of silver, I think about why I'm buying it, how I'm going to be able to sell that ounce. Just like if you're investing in a real estate, you don't just randomly pick a house in a random neighborhood. You don't look at where the house's value is then, you look at where it will be. Are they building shopping centers and malls, or are they tearing them down? Because then when you plan to sell that house in 10 years, the property value will either rise or fall. Same with silver. If you're buying an ounce right now, don't look at the price right now. Where is it headed? Investors make strategic decisions based on information. And if the information is telling us that it's going to be a good investment, then take it. But if it doesn't make sense, then don't. That's gambling. Gamblers throw money at the wall, hope it sticks with the odds highly against them. Investors tweak the odds in our favor with the information given. So, anyways, this is because aluminum is. Oh wait, okay. So let's write up here. So, metals such as aluminum are also facing lower demand from top consumer China. However, soaring energy prices in China, as well as key parts of Europe, could potentially put a floor on prices. And this is because aluminum is a very energy intensive metal to produce, and rising energy prices have led to many smelters closing down, thus potentially boosting prices down the line. Would you invest in aluminum? I feel like that would be a very hard thing to invest into. I mean, just because it's very light. I don't know. Would you invest into aluminum? However, China has recently announced a slew of new economic stimulus measures, and this is going to be big, which is expected to provide some additional support to the economy with a special focus on construction, infrastructure, and real estate. This will involve delegating additional budget to banks as well as encouraging them to finance more construction projects. Also, it should be boosting industrial metals. This is part of the reason why the medium term outlook is more stable than the short term for industrial and manufacturing metals such as copper, steel, iron ore. And that's what we were just talking about. If they're going to start doing this, then the short term might look a lot different than the medium term. Another reason is due to the metals such as copper expected to be in very high demand once the energy transition progresses further in the next few years, thus leading up to higher prices. So you see how they said copper, the demand is going to be down for the next year or two, but then they mentioned, the medium to longer term, it actually could be up. So that's why they're saying, there's a time and a place for everything. And especially for something like silver, I just see that silver is like all these metals on steroids times 10. Yes, copper is used a lot as well, but when you're looking at the value of silver and how much is needed into all these different things, I can't imagine there's much copper being used in like an electric vehicle compared to silver. I know when you're talking about solar panels, they're trying to replace silver with copper, but I don't know if that would be as efficient. I think it would actually, they would shoot themselves in the foot trying to redo all that, especially since copper's quality would be so much lower. I think it would actually be easier to just learn how to cut down the amount of silver in the solar panels instead of replace it completely with copper. In a previous June report, Fitch had raised metals and mining estimates mostly due to supply constraints arising from the conflict between those two countries, water supply problems in Chile, and worsening social tensions in Peru. A seasonal dip in Brazilian and Australian shipments were also expected too. So anyways, yeah, that's what we got down here is another chart. Commodities name, we're looking at copper, iron ore, aluminum. They don't even mention silver in this. That's weird. They would mention all the other things. But anyway, which metals, or which are the main metals and miners impacted? One of the most impacted with this current Fitch report is copper, which has received a revised forecast around $3.90 per pound. What is copper right now? What is copper right now? Let's go into, yes, this is my thumbnail, but I just want to go over to this link. Doesn't even show copper on here. Wait, did it actually show the price of copper when I was just no. I know copper's really cheap. I mean, $1.50 for one of these. That's so crazy to think about. Like for this huge 1 ounce coin, it's only $1.50. If you want to know what it feels like to own like a lot of silver, or what that feeling would look like to feel like a whole treasure chest, copper is a very affordable way to do that. Well, what's the? I just want to know what the. Doesn't even show. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to make this video too lengthy, but regardless though, yeah. So it looks like they received a revised forecast around $3.90 per ounce for the rest of the year, down from about $4.30 per pound. Oh, okay, so you even said it right there. So talking about copper falling, but remember they said copper could be rising in the medium to long term as demand from the China stimulus and building all the construction and stuff starts to kick into play. This is likely to impact copper miners, yada yada yada, iron ore and steel. So I don't want to go into all that. I mean, if you're someone that does look into copper or aluminum or something, I always link these articles in the description, but I really want to just focus on silver. And the same thing, what they were talking about will give copper that boost in the medium to long term, since the industrial side of things would start ramping up. The same goes for silver, but silver also has the other side of things mixed in with it, since it is somewhat of a monetary metal as well, and we're looking at the dollar deflating and people not only turning to safe havens for the reasons of protecting their wealth, but also the scarcity. Producers turn into consumers, and consumers turn into producers. The people like you and I that want the silver will be selling it to the people that need the silver. They need the silver if you want the newest, latest iPhone. We want the silver just for ourselves. They need the silver to make electric vehicles and solar panels to make the entire world go green, save the planet from global warming and climate change. We just want it. So they're willing to pay any price. So they better be willing to, at least if you want the newest, latest iPhone, which, by the way, I'm getting the new iPhone 14 Pro Max in a couple of days. Came out like last week. That thing is going to be, yeah. Anyways, that was random because we're on that topic. But yeah, so anyways, yeah, let's wrap this video up a little bit. I just wanted to hear, do you invest into other metals? And if you do, what are they and why? Do you also invest into gold? Do you invest into copper? I know a lot of you invest into platinum. Well, not a lot, but I do see people investing into platinum. Platinum would probably be a very cool metal to have, or even palladium. I feel like those things would be nice. I mean, platinum right now is down to $860. Palladium is at 2,000. I remember the first time palladium broke past gold's price. So crazy. Now gold's down, nearly $500 more than platinum is. So I don't know. Interesting times. Interesting times. I'm gonna wrap this video up here. Remember, go subscribe. I'm doing a giveaway. I'm waiting for the prizes to come in. Andy Scheckman is out of town. He's going to be donating to the winner, so it just gives more time people to enter. But the prizes are going to be worth the wait, I promise. And also, speaking of Andy Scheckman, if you wanted to buy some silver, all you got to do is send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. They have everything, and Andy will match any price from any other major dealer, precious metals dealer out there. If they have a lower price, just send a screenshot or the link, and if they have a lower price, or if you can find the lowest price on the internet anywhere, Andy will match it. So you literally cannot find a cheaper place to go to than Miles Franklin. Plus, building a relationship with someone like that is beyond beneficial, since he is one of the only few authorized dealers that are still able to purchase from the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint cut off everyone publicly, and all these places like Atmex and stuff. Those people cannot buy from the U.S. Mint anymore. Andy can, though. Andy Scheckman can. Miles Franklin is the most trusted company, never had a negative complaint in 45 years. Send an email to info@milesfranklin.com. The website will be up shortly. Andy said it's a pain in the butt trying to get this thing up, but yes, in time it will come. It is very close, though. So yeah, anyways, I'm going to wrap this video up here. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys soon. Peace.